righty. Welcome to the After Hours at TC Restani, the podcast. I am not emanating from the podcast penthouse because my guest right now, the lovely and talented Miss Abigail Harwich. Abigail, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here finally.
Well, you are now having the podcast penthouse renovated, painted, new carpets and whatnot. That's now why we're down on the lower levels of Restani Productions in Studio B.
Yes, that is correct.
So if you hear things going by like limousines or production trucks and whatnot, that's the noise. You're obviously not going to hear that if we were in the podcast penthouse.
Of course.
Because it's the penthouse, right, Abby?
Right, of course. The penthouse is the penthouse. There's no noise up there.
Except birds and planes.
Yeah, of course. It's so high up, you know.
It is so high up, and we're not talking about South Boston Jeff either. Unbelievable. Abigail Harwich, you are the executive producer now, just finishing up your first 100 days here on the program. Of course, you're the executive producer of the TV version,
yes,
as well as the podcast version, and anything that has to do with me broadcasting, you're the executive producer of it, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So what do you think about the first 100 days?
Oh, I've been having a lovely time here. Everyone is so nice. I've been having the best time meeting new fans, reaching out to new people, connecting with new people. I've been able to do so many creative things with you, with our production team. It's been a great time, and I'm looking forward to the next 100 days.
Unbelievable. We're all looking forward to it. But that's the first 100 days. But we're going to go back in time just a little bit for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time and not know a lot about Abigail Harwich. I call her Abby because we are longtime close personal friends for 3 years, because you tracked me down at a Comic-Con about 2017. You ran up to me and you told me all about your bad experiences with the Harry Potter people. Now, we're not going to go into explicit details.
Yes.
You can see that on our YouTube channel.
Yes, you can. Go check it out.
Exactly. You heard the boss down there. And you said, listen, I want to get involved with broadcasting. I'm going to school for performing arts. I really have a passion for television and the media. So we had you on the show.
Yes.
Our executive producer at the time, Sabrina Champagne-Kane, got a huge promotion with Sabs and Fab Productions,
Yes.
Johnny Fabulous, who I saw wandering around here earlier. You were having a little...
Yes, he was here earlier.
What was the conversation you were having with him?
We were just talking about, success in the industry and what he's done, what he could suggest for me to do. It was a great time. He's a great person to talk to.
He is a great person to talk to. I mean, did you get any little Fabo Pop, his little soda pop that he sells?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, well, maybe he ran out.
Oh, I want some. I want to try some.
Oh, we'll definitely have to get you a thing of Fabo Pop. But getting back, Sabrina Champagne-Kane went to the tower, as I call it, the big black tower of Restani Productions for a big, big promotion there. And we had a search, an in-house search for an executive producer. We had a lot of different other candidates that we wanted on the program. And she kept saying, why not Abby? Why not Abigail?
She's so sweet.
She has the drive. She has the youth. She has what Sabrina calls the Sabrina it factor. And I said, you know what? That's a great idea, because all the other schlubs we were interviewing were awful. And I always want to have a woman executive producer. Always.
Yes, of course. Women get things done.
Exactly. I mean, that is 100% fact. Sabrina got us 5 first-place winning trophies. You're going to be working on our 6th and through probably 1 millionth.
Oh, of course. That is my goal.
It is your goal because
Yes.
you are the executive producer. And lo and behold, we hired you sometime, I believe it was like maybe the end of May, early June.
Yes.
So that would accumulate to 100 days thereabouts on the program. Now, one thing that I have been fascinated with having you as the executive producer of the program is you're hands-on. I need something done. I text you. I call you. It's done within the first 20 minutes.
Yes.
Why is that? Now, is that something that you were taught as a child?
Yes. My parents raised me to always believe in what I want, and if I want something done, I have to go do it. Not to rely on other people. Obviously, if I need help, I can reach out, but if there's something that I want to do, then I need to be confident enough in myself to go do it. So whenever I have an idea, no matter how crazy it is, I know that you'll be there to back me up. So I always reach out to you immediately and try to get it done right away.
I'm like a clogged sink. I'll always be there to back you up.
Yes, of course.
Now, speaking of that, your upbringing, your mom and dad, who I've met many times,
Yes.
especially your mom from England.
Yes, my mum. I love my mum.
Now, you grew up in England. Whereabouts did you grow up in England? Somewhere the Cambridgeshire, right?
Yes, I grew up in the mid-east section of Cambridgeshire. So I've been told. I moved here when I was 3, so I don't really remember it that much. I haven't been back too much, aside from all the Harry Potter stuff and whatnot, traveling.
Right.
But other than that, I haven't really been back too much. but yeah, it was great when I was there for 3 years, but I came over here because my dad got transferred because of his job when I was little.
And he's a big, government guy in the American government.
Yes, he is. He is originally from the United States. My mother is from
England.
Yes.
Jolly old England.
Yes, jolly old England.
Now, you kept the accent because, you grew up with your mom and your grandparents migrated over here when you were 3 years old. And you grew up with your grandparents who were from, I guess, from the same Shire. You weren't anywhere near Frodo. Were you over in the Shire?
No, sorry.
All right. Different Shire.
Different Shire, of course, yeah.
Okay. But it's, I had Irish relatives.
Oh, okay.
And their grandmother came over here on the boat and she never lost her accent. She came over here when she was like 3 or 4, like you did, never lost her accent. And some of her kids actually picked up on the Irish accent.
Yes.
So it's not uncommon that you have it. Now, you grew up here in the Boston area.
I did.
Now, is that kind of weird, you having a British accent, everybody here has the Boston accent? I mean, has that is that creeped into your vocabulary?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I could probably do a killer Boston accent just because I've been around it so much.
Prove it to me.
What do you want me to say?
Well, obviously the big one is park your car.
Pack the car and have it yard.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been working on that for a while now.
Have you seen that guy in that new commercial for the beer there, the cousin from Boston?
Yes, I have.
Do you know I actually have a connection to that guy?
Really?
All right. My nephew, Ethan.
Yes.
Right? He goes to school up on the North Shore. His teacher, that's his or her brother.
Oh my gosh,
so maybe we can maybe you can get the guy from Boston on this program.
That would be wonderful.
And he could teach you the full Boston accent.
Yes.
Because he actually has a good Boston accent. Unlike the other weirdos in media that try to have one. Like Kevin Costner in the movie 13 Days.
Yeah.
He goes, "This is your report card."
Yeah, it's hard when actors try to do Boston accent. It's the same thing for a New York accent too. I feel like if you're not from that area, you're never going to get it correctly. So it's hard, and it can come across as stereotypical, or it can come across as insulting to some people. But it is what it is.
You ever been to Providence, Rhode Island?
I have.
It's like a hybrid of Boston and New York combined.
100%, absolutely.
It's like, wait a minute, I hear the Boston accent, but I also hear I want to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Down there in Providence, Rhode Island. I've been there many times, but we're not going to talk about the nightlife going down to Providence, Rhode Island. You've probably been down there for what, a Taylor Swift concert or something?
No. I've gone to all those at Foxborough, but I did go to Newport actually a year or two ago for someone's bachelorette party. That was a weekend to remember, I will say.
I heard about your big weekend excursions all around the world out there. Now, before you became the executive producer on the program, we did a Zoomcast, and you were out in Muncie, Indiana.
Yes, I was. Wow,
Now,
that was a long time ago.
Well, it was over 100 days ago.
I know.
But you were out there, for some weird reason, you just wanted to be away from the world. Obviously, I can understand that because of what's been going on the last 6 or 7 months here in this crazy world. But deep down, were you really searching for Hawkins?
I can't reveal my secrets to the world right now, but there actually is a lot of things you can do down there pertaining to Stranger Things. Now that you bring it up, I guess I'll tell you. All of their exterior shots were filmed at actual people, like resident houses, like actual residencies in the lab and all these things. They were real places, so you can go essentially on your own tour around there. Yeah. So the movie Hocus Pocus.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. But
You've never seen Hocus Pocus?
Is that the one with Bette Midler?
Yes.
I haven't seen it. No.
They're making a second one. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that movie was filmed in Salem, Mass.
Of course.
And well, yeah, because the story takes place in Salem, Mass. But they actually filmed at real locations in Salem. It's the same thing. You can go to Salem and you can get in your car and do the tour yourself. Or they might actually have tours that you can follow too. But it's the same type of deal. So I did that with a couple of friends last year, actually. But yeah, in Indiana, it's so cool. And it's very different from here. It's very different from the life that you live here in the Boston area. It's very boring,
right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Well,
nothing against them, but totally.
That's why Bob Ross, remember that guy who painted Happy
Yes.
Little Trees? That's where he emanated out of. He was from Muncie, Indiana, and I think
really?
that's where they shot the show.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was very quiet and humdrum, and Bob
Yeah.
Ross painted it. So, but let's segue into, I know you wanted to talk about this. You texted to me earlier today. It's like, listen, we have to talk about Stranger Things, my obsession with Stranger Things. All
My
right.
obsession. You make me sound like I'm a crazy person.
Okay, well, everybody on this program, on the TV version and the podcast, we all have obsessions over things.
Yes. I feel like every person naturally has obsessions over things, so you can't control it. You know?
follow me on Twitter, and you're always talking about, why do you always talk about Back to the Future constantly? Well, because it's my favorite movie of all time.
Right.
That's why. And I went to all the locations when I was out in California last winter. So we all have obsessions on this program.
Yes.
Yours is just happened to be Stranger Things.
Yes.
Now, this is kind of strange, no pun intended, but you are 23 years old.
Yes.
You know, you just had your birthday a couple of days ago. You know, happy birthday, Abby.
Thank you.
And everybody wished you happy birthday on Twitter.
Yes, and I wanted to say, actually, thank you for bringing that up. I did want to reach out and say thank you so much to everybody who reached out to me for happy birthday. It was a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and you all made it very special for me.
Unbelievable. My birthday's coming up in March 21st, but who's really plugging?
How many days? Do you have a countdown yet?
No, because I'm turning 50, so I'm not.
That's a great countdown to have. We should throw a party.
You're definitely going to have to throw me a party. You're the executive producer. It's in the fine print.
It's in the contract.
It's in the fine print. But getting back to Stranger Things. Now, like I say, you're 23 years old. You have never, ever experienced anything in the 1980s because you weren't born until 17 years 17 years since the beginning of the 1980s. You were born in 1997, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so the 80s ended long before Abigail Harwich decided to come down into the Shire.
It's depressing.
It is depressing. Now, what gave you an early indication that you would love the 80s? I lived every second of the 1980s, and I wish every day I could start 1980 over again and go to 1989. What really freaks me out is like in the summertime, and I'm taking like an afternoon snooze and whatnot, and the weather person goes, "It's going to be in the mid 80s tomorrow," and I get all excited. But then I realize
it's back.
They're talking about the temperature. So what your obsession with the 80s? Give us the 411.
I don't really know. I mean, obviously people in my family were around and they grew up in the 80s. And, you know, when Stranger Things first came out, I had no intention of watching it. I don't know why. It just didn't spark my interest. And a bunch of my friends were like, you need to watch this show. It is so good. So one night, you know, in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep. So I said, you know, I might as well start it. Pro tip, if you get scared easily, do not watch Stranger Things by yourself in your bed in the darkness at 12 o'clock at night. It is very terrifying. But so you know, I got my aunt hooked on it, and she grew up in the 80s, and you know, she kept saying to my dad, like, you need to watch this. It's going to bring you back. It's going to bring so much nostalgia into your life. Like, you need to watch this. This is just like it was when we were growing up and we were kids. And I just kept saying, wow, I wish I could have experienced that. And, you know, now with the millennials and the Gen Z and whatever, all the older people are like, you don't know what it's like to live in the good old days. You don't know what it's like to not have a cell phone, and you don't know what it's like to not have the internet and all that stuff. And, you know, it sounds lovely to me. It sounds like it'd be so much fun. I feel like today we get so wrapped up in so many different things, whether it's our phone or the internet or, you know, what's on TV. You know, there are so many things to cause so much stress and anxiety about nothing. It's just I would love to just wake up in the morning and, you know, ride my bike to school and not have to worry about anything. And, you know, my mom doesn't know where I am. I can just go out, you know, like my aunt always says when they were little, like their parents never knew where they were. They'd go out, they'd ride their bikes, they'd follow the, what is it called? I have never seen this before, but I guess there used to be some like mosquito truck that would drive around and like spray the pesticides or something out the back, and it'd be like this really thick cloud, this really thick fog of, you know, pesticides, like nothing good for you. And my aunt and my dad used to say that they would all get on their bikes and they'd ride behind the truck and you wouldn't be able to see the person in front of you. And all the stories that I've heard about my family growing up, it just seems like it was so fun. And then watching it all take place on Stranger Things, I was like, wow. Even the style, like everything, it just looked so cool and so fun. I don't know. I just feel like if I could go back to any decade, I'd want to go back to the 80s.
Well, you're not alone, and I would be sitting right next to you in Doc Brown's DeLorean time machine, heading back to good old 1985 was probably my favorite year of the 1980s. Not just because my favorite movie Back to the Future came out. It's just the middle of the decade, everything was still kind of fresh. I mean, cable TV was still in its infancy. Yeah. MTV actually played music videos rather than...
I wasn't around in the 80s, but I do remember when I was younger, I would watch MTV and I would watch some music videos in the morning, and I'm sure it was not the same thing that you're talking about, but I do remember that, and those were the good old days. Do they still even do that?
I don't know. I shut off MTV in 1987 because they started running other junk other than music videos. So I said, screw this.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it was fascinating. I mean, your dad was right. You know, you would leave the house at like 7 a.m. with your friends, ride your bike, and you know, some kids were told to come home when the street lights came on.
Yes, they always talk about that, or the dinner bell. Something about the
right, because most of the kids used to hang around, you know, close to their neighborhood.
Yeah,
it was very territorial back then.
Yes,
I mean, you may have gone a couple streets over to play with your friend Jimmy or friend Sally or whatnot, but you were not too far from home. You know, sometimes you would venture out on your own little adventure and like go to the mall.
Yeah,
you know, that new hip thing called the mall.
Yeah,
where all the kids would hang out, which they did in Stranger Things. The
Starcourt Mall.
The third season. That really, literally, when I was watching, I was like, this is like watching home movies.
Yes, that's what my aunt always said, and I was like, oh my God, I just wish I could go live that just for a day.
The 80s were the greatest. That's why it's the most talked about in
I bet.
subject matter of all podcasts out there are the 1980s, because it was so nostalgic, because everything was new. I mean, all right, I grew up in the 1980s, but my parents and whatnot grew up in like the 50s. So in the 50s was really when the teenager started to evolve and rule the world.
Yeah.
So basically the 1980s was the second generation of the teenager. Mm-hmm. I mean, the 60s, they were all on drugs and, hippie power and whatnot. So if you were hippie, you kind of like that. But, the 1950s were the teenage years where the teenager began to rule. In the 1980s, they ruled.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was geared,
everything
about pop culture was geared around the teenager. The music, the movies, the television show, the sneakers, the jeans, everything was geared towards the teenager.
Yeah.
So if you grew up in that era, you were like, oh my God, I'm a god. Everything is about me and my generation.
Yeah.
There was no internet at the time. I love the internet. I'm not saying I don't, but I really didn't need to know what my best friend had for breakfast that morning. All right.
Right.
I didn't really care because it didn't come up in the discussion, and people didn't go see psychiatrists because someone didn't like something online. All right. It's like
there weren't Karens back then, is what you're trying to say.
No, there weren't any Karens or anything or any of the other pain in the ass names.
There's too many Karens now.
The only Karen I know is from Goodfellas. All right. You ever see Goodfellas?
I've heard of it.
Oh my goodness! I keep forgetting you're only 23. I don't think a lot of English girls are into Italian mafia movies. But yeah. So you would actually love to go back to the 1980s. Now, what are some of your favorite things of the 1980s, other than Stranger Things, which is obviously takes place in the 1980s? Yeah. But what Abigail Harwich, you're going through your dad's yearbook or your mom's yearbook, or even hearing stories of growing up. What things from the 1980s do you like personally?
The first thing that came to my mind when you just asked me that question was the hairstyles.
Oh.
The only reason I say that is because I am very big in volume. I don't like my hair to be flat. Sometimes I just feel bald when that happens. But you can ask anyone that knows me. I always have a teasing comb with me. And I was a cheerleader too, so I had to have the teased hair, the puffy hair. So I don't know, I just love the teased look. I mean, obviously not as drastic as it was back in the 80s.
No.
What was it? Was it ratting your hair? Was that what it was called?
Well, depending on what part of the country you lived in, and now I grew up here on the North Shore, just outside of Boston, and most of the girls we refer to them as Revere chicks. They would have you ever watch the show The Nanny?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love The Nanny. I love Fran.
Okay, every girl was Fran Drescher's hair, but they didn't have the Brooklyn accent, or the Queens accent.
Okay, with that hair, that is what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't wear my hair like that now.
No, you couldn't, because there's not enough hairspray in the world.
Right, but I love that. I don't know that I just love that. I think that's
maybe
so
one
cool.
day you can come down here and surprise us, and you can be a Revere chick.
Great.
For those of you who are living in the Boston area, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Must.
But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just think of Fran Drescher with a Boston accent. End of story.
Yeah, true.
So you like the hairstyles?
Oh yeah, I think those are cool. I also mentioned the style. I love the style. I'm very big on wearing high-waisted jeans, Converse, that whole thing. I also feel like that trend is coming back a lot too. I feel like a lot of these old trends are coming back now, especially in my generation's style. I don't know why, but I absolutely love it. And the hairstyle, the clothing, I just feel like I would thrive in that era.
Well, maybe for my birthday party next year, you can throw an 80s style birthday party.
Oh my
for
gosh.
me.
Okay, done.
Done?
Great. Done.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
You're all invited. Just kidding.
Everybody's invited. Anybody you want to come in? I'm not flying you in, but if you want to come in, we'll give you the 411. We'll have it in the podcast penthouse because it's being renovated right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. We'll have a party ready by then.
We hopefully will. We
Hopefully.
have 6 months to get ready for it.
Great. So you do have a countdown. You lied.
Well, I do. I know how to do math. We're taping.
I don't.
Okay. Well, you're from England. Maybe they have a different math over there.
Yeah, maybe.
It is. We're in September. 6 months is March. Kind of does.
There you go.
2 plus 2 does not equal 22. But getting back, so all the influences that you love about the 80s is like a big cauldron in Stranger Things.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, who's your favorite on Stranger Things?
Oh, do you even have to ask?
I mean, all right, it's 11, correct?
Yes.
It is 11, played by Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown, yes.
Now, have you seen her new movie there?
No, but I want to. And everyone keeps asking
What
me.
is it? Enola Holmes. I actually
Holmes.
watched half of it so far.
Is it good?
I was thinking of you the entire time saying, oh my God, Abby is going to be
Oh my God.
loving this. She's a very,
I saw the trailer. It looks awesome.
She is a fantastic actress. If she
Yes.
doesn't get involved in drugs and do something stupid, she could be around for a very,
don't
very
think that-
long time.
She doesn't strike me as someone who will. I don't think that she will. She seems like she has a good head on her shoulders. I do get the sense that she's growing up very fast, but I feel like the industry kind of does that to you anyway.
Well, you had a little dabble in the industry, and it kind of threw you to the curb.
Just a little. Just a little bit.
And she's also from England, right?
Yes.
So
No, she actually, well, yes, but she was born in Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's a Spaniard. Maybe she could be in Gladiator 2.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know. Russell Crowe,
Who knows?
Millie
Yeah.
Bobby Brown. Now, is that her real name? I mean, is that like a tribute to the rap guy Bobby Brown?
No, I do believe that is her. I do believe that's her real name. I don't actually know, but I think so.
Because now Bobby in England is a cop.
I want to say.
Yeah, it is. That's what they call cops over there, Bobbies.
Yeah, but I want to say that her name is Millie Brown, but I don't know where the Bobby Brown comes from. I want to say that's her real name. Now you're making me
Well, you know what?
question
If
everything.
anybody out there knows why her name's Bobby Brown, you
Write
can
in.
tweet me at After Hours TC, and you can tweet Abby at After Hours Abby out there because she's a Stranger Things expert out there. All right, but other than 11, all right, if you had your choice, you're going to big Comic Con, and 11 is unavailable because she's doing a Enola
sure.
Holmes concert convention.
Sure.
Who from the other cast members would you die to meet?
The actor who plays Steve Harrington, his name is escaping me right now.
Joe Keery?
Yes, Joe Keery. Yes.
I know more about this show than you.
You caught me off guard. He's actually from Newburyport.
Oh, where's he?
Yes.
Well,
and he comes up here on the holidays, like, 4th of July. And I only know that because I follow him on social media.
Well, the 4th of July is coming. The 4th of July has already came. Christmas and Thanksgiving are coming.
Yeah.
So maybe he's coming home to visit Mummy and Daddy.
Yeah, so maybe we should,
And
get him on here.
We could probably use your connection to your Twitter fan out there, your celebrity Twitter fan, which is our good friend, Captain Dave Marciano.
Yes.
He lives around there. So
Yes, he does.
He may know these people.
That would be crazy.
How crazy would that be if, this guy Joe Carey, Steve Harrington goes home to cut some bird on Thanksgiving, and you and Captain Dave come knocking on the door?
That would be insane. That would be the best Thanksgiving of my life.
It'd be wicked pissa, wouldn't it?
It would be wicked pissa.
Unbelievable. So why him? Just because he's a stud?
No, I actually really, in the first season, he was kind of a douche. People didn't really like him. But I liked him. I thought he had a wonderful character arc because, he goes from this heartthrob at the very beginning of season 1 and then, kind of turns into this jerk, whatever, because, he's angsty over Nancy. But then you see him make this character arc throughout the seasons of taking care of these kids and wanting to be a better guy for Nancy and then, taking Dustin under his wing. And then you can tell by the end of season 3 that he genuinely wants to be a good person and he kind of knows that he, messed himself up early on just by hanging out with the wrong crowd of being a jerk. And I don't know. I just think his character arc is one of the best ones, one of the most underrated character arcs in Stranger Things.
And he has saved the day multiple times.
Yes, he has. He's stealthy like a ninja, as he says.
Like a ninja.
I say that all the time.
Really?
Because of him, yeah.
Do you even know what a ninja is?
Yes, I know what a ninja is.
What's your favorite ninja movie?
I don't know.
Don't say Teenage Mutant Ninja. If you're an 80s fan, I'm going to give you one right now. I just actually watching it. No lie. Last night it was on cable TV. American Ninja.
Really?
I'm going to send you the link to American Ninja. Maybe do a podcast about American Ninja somewhere down the line.
Okay.
Unbelievable. So if Stranger Things came knocking, I know you have an online Twitter campaign where you're wanting them to follow you or anything like that.
How hard is it to press the follow button, really?
Really? It takes
How
2
hard
seconds.
is it,
I mean,
really?
now let's be honest. Do you think these people are actually doing their own social media? Or
I don't know. You know,
Some of them might.
I kind of think it depends on like how popular you are, if you handle your own thing or not, you know?
Well, that guy Joe Keery's got like 1 million followers.
Right, but like, you know, how hard is it to just press the follow? But I mean, I assume that he probably has loads of people knocking down his door all the
Right, I'm
time.
assuming these people on there have blocks on their phones that you can't tag them in anything or anything like that.
Probably. But like, you know, just hear me out. All you have to do is press the follow button. And if you don't even want to see my feed, just mute me. You can still follow me.
Well, they definitely want to see your feed. I mean,
Well, they better. I'm a nice person.
you are a nice person, and you're very nice to all your fans out there. I mean, I'm friends with some of your followers, and they all send me direct messages saying, "My God, I can't believe how nice Abby is." You know, she could have the tendency to be a bitch, you know, but she's not. I said, "Of course she's not. I don't hire idiots on my program."
No, you know, because I know what it's like. I know what it is like to not. I know what it's like to have people be mean to you and not give you the time of day.
Right.
I would never want anyone to feel like that ever, whether you're my fan or not.
So you're definitely not a Steve Harrington.
Well, what
Old
season?
A season 1 Steve Harrington.
No.
Unbelievable. Now, once Comic-Cons come back up and running, I know you were dying to go back to Comic-Cons.
Yes.
When you found out that I've met how many people from that show?
Yeah, I was a little mad at you. I didn't want to talk to you for a little while.
Well, you did move to Indiana, so it's kind of hard to get a plane ticket to come back and forth to these conventions from Indiana.
I mean, I guess that's also true.
But, I mean, I told you the time, I even called you. I said, listen, you know who I just met? I just met 11. I didn't know her full name at the time.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
And, you know, who was Alice Cooper, the big rock star? You know him?
Yeah.
We were talking to him, and it was kind of strange. You know, no pun intended again. 11 at the time was probably a little older than 11. Maybe she was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And she was at the Rhode Island Comic-Con signing autographs.
So close. Like
so close. We talked about Rhode Island earlier in this
I
podcast.
know. Oh.
She was down there signing autographs, and it was strange watching these like 40, 50-year-old guys in line bringing her flowers and candy
that's
and
a
whatnot.
little weird.
And Alice Cooper, who's like this demonic nightmare song guru, had like a human moment going like, these people are freaking sick.
At a human moment.
You know? But, you know...
It's true, though. It's true.
But, you know, you're going to have to watch out for that yourself, Abby, because we're going to be doing
know.
conventions sometime in 2021.
I know.
And, you know, would you be offended if someone brought you a gift?
No, I wouldn't be offended. You know, I am one for respecting, you know, boundaries and personal space. I mean, obviously, but you know, I don't think gifts are weird.
Yeah, gifts are fine. If some weirdo said, you want to come to the bathroom stall with me for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would say I'm calling security. Get out of here.
Right.
I'm arresting you.
There are boundaries and whatnot. But, you know, you're going to do the big photo shoot coming up. We're going
Yes.
to have a great 8x10s.
Yep.
And, you know, you may have to have some security. You're a good-looking girl. I'm not going to, I'm not going to say
you.
you're not, because we only hire the best down here.
Thank you.
And we need you on the show. We don't want some dirtbag
Right.
coming up to, you know, scaring you away or doing harm.
Right.
Not just for you, but anybody on the show.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, I think that's something, not to get into politics or anything along those matters right now, because that's another story for another time. But, you know, I feel like that's a very prominent issue right now in our society, and, you know, all of these people coming forward. And it's something really serious that a lot of people need to think about and take into consideration.
Oh, it's sickening.
Yeah.
It's sickening. If you admire somebody, I have fascinations with, you know, celebrities. I've been following them my entire life. But when I met them, I'm a total gentleman.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna be like, you know, I remember that scene you did in the movie where you were naked with a duck. I'm not gonna bring that up.
Yeah, that's
creepy.
creepy.
Jeff brings that stuff up because he's, you know, high all the time when he interviews these celebrities and whatnot. But that's his job on the program. That's not my job. But
We only hire the best of the best around here.
Hey, you know what? Jeff is a good-hearted man, and he's the greatest celebrity stalker of all time. And you know, if you ever need any medicine hookup, now even though it's legal now, he's the guy to talk to. A little side plug there, but we'll talk about that off the air. But I can't wait to go back to the conventions, especially sitting at a table with you and the cast and meeting the fans that are out there.
Yeah, well, the convention that I met you at was like the only one that I've ever been to.
Right, and there was really no big celebrities at that one. It was kind of a little small one. I think they had the guy who played the third Stormtrooper in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, there wasn't really, not that he's not important. He's important.
He is
All
important.
roles are important, but yeah, I agree.
Which gets segues into it. All roles are important. You
Yes.
are studying performing arts at one of
I
the
am.
major colleges in the country. We're not going to say which one because we
Yes.
just mentioned crazy stalkers out
Right,
there.
exactly.
But you're doing it online. But we're not going to mention it. It's prominent on the East Coast.
It is.
Now, you stated you came to this country when you were 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of your influences? Now, you are big into performing arts, dance, and singing, correct?
Yes, correct.
So, who are your 3 influences in those 3 categories? Let's start off with performing arts.
in performing arts, like as a whole,
As a whole, I mean, who got your juices flowing, saying, "I need to do this"?
that's a great question. Well, I can tell you from maybe this will answer the question. I don't know, but from a young age, when the Lizzie McGuire movie like first came out, you know what that is?
Vaguely.
Okay, Hilary Duff. You know who Hilary Duff?
She
is?
alive or dead?
No, she's alive.
Okay.
Very
There
much
wasn't
alive.
some actress that, like around that era that died.
Maybe.
Okay, well, she's dead.
I
We're
don't
not talking about her.
Well, those who are out there listening, the Lizzie McGuire movie, first of all, best movie, 10 out of 10. Growing up, that was like, I wore that DVD into the pavement. Like that, I watched that movie religiously at least like 3 times a week. And I just wanted to be her. At the end, she, no spoilers or anything, but at the end, she does this huge performance at the Colosseum in Italy. And she's just an ordinary girl, pretending to be this pop star, and she rocks it. It's so amazing. I still watch to this day and get chills just because like that's a dream of mine. And growing up, I always said I wanted to be like Hilary Duff. I wanted to be like Lizzie McGuire. I wanted to do this. And then Hilary Duff was actually my first concert ever. And I got to touch her, and I got the drumstick from her drummer, and I still have it in my room. And when my aunt would watch me and my grandmother would watch me, I'd always say, okay, I'm going to perform for you now. You need to cheer for me. They would do it. They would cheer for me. But yeah, in my living room, we have home videos of me just jamming out to the Lizzie McGuire movie soundtrack. And
I'm going to have to call your mother and see if I can get a copy of those.
oh, absolutely not. Those are not going anywhere. Oh yeah, those home videos. Ooh, my cousins and I used to put on shows in our kitchen, in our living room, like weekly. We would put on shows.
What kind of shows would you do?
Oh, we had Christmas shows. We always did a Christmas show at my aunt's house. My neighbors and I actually used to do magic shows. We used to put on magic shows, and we would have this one act called Disappearing Ryan. So me and my other neighbor would hold up a sheet, and we'd say, 1, 2, 3, and my other neighbor Ryan would be behind the sheet. He would run. The kitchen was like connected to the dining room, and it went around in a circle. He would run and go up the stairs and hide upstairs, but Connor and I would make so much noise that they wouldn't hear him running, and we'd drop the sheet and he'd be gone. And they'd be like, as parents do, like, oh my God, what happened? Where'd he go? And we were like, we always used to say, you can search anywhere you'd like on the first floor. I promise you he's not here, but you can't go anywhere else besides the first
don't look on that
floor.
second floor. So entertainment has been in your genes since you were in diapers.
Oh yeah, but I'm the only one in my family. Not one other person in my family is a performing artist.
It's kind of like me. I'm the only entertainer in the family. I mean, I have a lot of people who have, relatives that are dead,
It's a hard life.
or in jail or whatnot. But I am the only entertainer. I kind of did little things like that when I was a kid. I would put on my own little talk shows in my living room.
And now look at you. Here you are.
Here I am.
Right.
5-time award-winning best
Follow
talk show
your
host.
dreams, everyone. Hard work pays off.
All right, so Lizzie McGuire for acting.
Okay, yeah. Yes,
So what
definitely.
about dancing?
Oof.
I mean, not other than Baryshnikov. I mean, who do you really know that was a dancer?
Honestly, my mother enrolled me in dance when I first got here. And I looked up to a lot of different people at that studio as a dancer.
Obviously, you did. You were only 3 years old.
Yeah, literally, I looked up to them. But yeah, I don't really know if I had any like professional dancer. I don't really know of any like
What style of dance is your favorite?
musical theater, obviously, but I like tap. I love tap.
Well, you're gonna have to demonstrate us some tap sometime down the line.
That's fine. Absolutely.
My
I used to teach tap.
My sister used to do tap, and it just annoyed me because you'd hear her down there on the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
You're trying to watch TV, and you just in the background. And I got stuck going to those recitals.
Oh yeah, those recitals. Even as a dancer, I'll tell you, those recitals are killers. They're so long.
But I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I'm like, I didn't want to go there. Now looking back as an adult, saying, those are hot girls up there in like leotards.
Yeah, you never even paid attention.
Right. I'm like, it's like, looking back, if I have a time machine, I'm going to go back to my 8 and 9 years old saying, you want to go to recitals. Become
in the 80s.
In the 80s with the puffy hair.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
Become friends with some of these girls down there. But you were 8, 9 years old. You wanted to go home and watch, He-Man or, the Transformers or whatever.
Totally.
Didn't think about that. But now, how many recitals have you done?
Oh, I've been dancing for like 14 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't know, 14.
Now, do you have thick legs? I mean, not to be, weird or anything, but you're in shape because of dancing.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Dancing and cheerleading too. They both have kept me in shape. I mean, I rarely go to the gym. I honest to God cannot tell you the last time I went to the gym. I don't really work out. I watch what I eat for the most part, but
what's your biggest cheat food?
Buffalo chicken dip.
Buffalo dip?
Yes.
You just eat the dip.
I love dip. If anyone out there has any good dip recipes, send them to me. I love dip.
Now, what do you dip in the dip?
Chips, obviously.
Well, you can dip broccoli, carrots.
No.
That's too healthy.
Tostito chips.
Tostitos chips, huh?
Oh, yeah. But no, if you put a bowl of dip in front of me, no one else is getting in it. It's just me. And I'll eat the whole thing.
So did you ever see the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the thing that killed the cartoons was called Dip?
No, but you know what? I think I've heard of it.
Oh, that's one of those movies you'll have to watch.
Yeah.
It was called Dip.
I might go home and make some buffalo chicken dip now. I make it like weekly.
Really? Now, what's your recipe for it? For those people out there who are listening, what is Abby's buffalo chicken dip recipe?
Sure. I looked it up. I looked up how to make it once a few years ago, and that was the last time I ever looked it up. I just started making it on my own. I used 2 cans of the chicken, in water, kind of like the tuna fish cans, but it's chicken. It's in water. That's important.
You're not Jessica Simpson that doesn't know the difference, do you?
No, I know the difference.
Okay.
Don't worry. My cat doesn't, but I do.
What's your cat's name?
Dewey.
Dewey?
Dewey, yes.
Named after The Rock?
No, like the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh, I just know The Rock.
Oh, well, okay, that's fine. But anyways, 2 cans of white chicken, and then, I kind of just eyeball the rest. I put a whole packet of cream cheese in it, any type of cream cheese, plain, but any brand. And then Frank's Red Hot Sauce and ranch dressing. Mix it over the stove. Add some shredded cheese in there. Oh my God, my mouth is watering just thinking about this. And then once that is all melted together, I usually wait for the cream cheese to melt. Then I put it into a bowl, like a glass bowl, and put it in the oven with shredded cheese on top, and just let it cook until the cheese melts, and then you're good to go. And it lasts for like a week. You can eat it for like a week.
But you probably haven't done it in about 2 days, right?
Oh, no, there's like still some left over in my fridge.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I make this religiously. When we were in quarantine, my father, still had to go into work every day, and he would come home because he would do the grocery shopping because, my mom and I didn't leave the house, but he had to go in every day.
Well, he is a government man.
Yeah, so he had to go in every day, and he would do the grocery shopping sometimes, and he would come home with like extra cans of chicken or like extra bags of chips and just leave them on the counter. And then when I would walk by, he'd be like, we have all these things. Maybe you should like make something. And I'm like, if you want me to make buffalo chicken dip, just ask me to make buffalo chicken dip. You don't need to allude to something.
So it's a Harwich specialty.
Oh yeah, totally.
Now I am vegan because I had health problems. I had my heart surgery a couple years back, so I could not eat that. Could you make a recipe that makes a vegan recipe out there? Could you look into that for the big birthday party?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's 2020, almost 2021, might I add.
Thank Christ, because 2020 has sucked.
When 2020 ends, I think I'm just going to, have a bonfire and just light it up.
Burn everything from 2020. Yeah, now, I've been trying to get you to come with me to my vegan diner over in Cambridge, Massachusetts called Veggie Galaxy.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I have brought everybody that's a carnivore meat eater. Now, I'm nothing against, I'm not one of these crazy vegans.
Well, fun fact, I used to be a vegetarian.
Really?
Yes, and I recently stopped, but I still don't eat red meat. I haven't eaten red meat in 4 years.
Wow, I haven't eaten red meat in almost 3 years.
Oh, wow. Wow, we're so close.
So, see, so close, but yet so far. So, once they reopen to allow people to sit down there, you and I are going to have a business meeting.
Oh, yeah.
At Veggie Galaxy. I recommend the vegan Reuben sandwich.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I love Reubens. I haven't had one in a long time.
And the vegan mozzarella sticks.
How do you do that?
You're not going to know the difference. I brought in some of the biggest meat eaters in the world in it, like Bull Montana, our esteemed co-host. He didn't. This fake stuff tastes real, so he didn't know.
That was a great impression.
Well,
we spent a little time together.
I've known 30. I feel like we're in prison together. All right. I've known the man for a lot longer than you've been breathing on this planet. I think double your age. Let's get close to double your age. But so there we go. We're getting into now the other inspiration, singing.
Yes.
Who's your favorite singer other than obviously Taylor Swift is your god?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My favorite singer other than Taylor Swift, Jessie James Decker, formerly known as Jessie James, but she got married.
Oh well, obviously
she got married to the NFL player Eric Decker, but he's retired now. He played for the Patriots for like 3 games. I actually went to the game that he played at.
I'm sure you did.
I didn't even know that would be the only game. My father got tickets from work, and we ended up going, and that was the only game he played in. I got to see him. I got to see him play.
Now, you've started singing probably a lot longer than you've been talking, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now, you performed you performed in plays. You've performed in your undergraduate work.
Yes.
And you even performed on cruise ships.
I did.
Now, I saw this videotape. Your mom was, texted to me after you got hired down here. She goes, have you seen Abby on the Love Boat? And I was like, I have not. And she sent me a video. And I'm not very, it didn't happen in the 1980s. I really don't remember. What song were you singing on that boat?
Well, I sang on the boat multiple nights, but the video I think you're talking about was at the piano bar.
At the piano, yes.
That was Shallow from A Star Is Born.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
No offense, but not a big fan of that movie.
I never saw it, and I probably never will.
They had to remake it. That was like the 3rd remake of it, because
Well, it's like Spider-Man. How many trilogies of Spider-Man?
No, it wasn't even a trilogy. They just remade it.
Was that good? It wasn't the
No,
first.
it wasn't good. What is the point? Why they kept remaking it?
The first one was Barbra Streisand, right?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Neither did I. Who cares? I don't care about Barbra Streisand. I did. You know what? I was at a big thing out at the Hollywood Museum back in December, and I was sitting there chatting with a woman sitting next to me, and I had no idea who she was. And my good friend Elaine Ballas.
Don't even tell me it was Barbra
No. My good friend Elaine Ballas, who's an actress out there, if you're listening, love you, Elaine, sat next to me and she goes, you have any idea who you were just talking to? And I have no idea. It's Barbra Streisand's sister.
Shut up. Oh my God.
I forgot her name, but
whatever, it's a Streisand. That's all that matters.
But now that I think about it, I looked at her, I was like, that's who she looked like. Oh. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
I would have been like, oh my God, are you Barbra Streisand? She would have been like, I'm not talking to you. You're one of those crazy
No, she
people.
probably gets it all the time. Barbra Streisand sister. If you're listening, Barbra Streisand sister, you were very nice. I had a lovely
I'd love to meet you.
Lovely conversation. And, once COVID goes away, we go back to the Hollywood Museum. We'll chat. You and Abby can go, and I can go to Mel's Diner next door.
Oh, I've always wanted to go there.
Oh, it's so good.
I'd love to go.
I got an Impossible Burger that was impossibly awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. We're going to have to go to Mel's. You see, I promised you that big tour of Warner Brothers.
I know, and I want to go.
We're going to go. Well, obviously, circumstances are beyond even TC Restani's control.
Right.
We'll definitely go out to California, and I'll show you the studio where they film Friends.
Oh, my gosh.
Because that's what friends are for.
Yeah, you're right.
I can sing. Now, one of the requests, I had a request for you to sing something. I'm not going to have you sing some pop culture song or anything. Recently.
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, gosh.
Right now. Bull Montana just celebrated his 800th birthday. All right.
Okay.
And he loves you.
His 800th birthday.
Well,
wow.
he looks good for 800.
Yeah.
Right. I'm so proud that Abby's on the program, and can you have her sing me happy birthday? And I said, you know what, Bull? When I do the podcast with her after your birthday, his birthday was the 26th.
Oh.
Yours is the 20th.
Yeah. We're like birthday twins almost.
Right. Yeah. Unbelievable out there. And of course, Airwolf Chris, our director, his birthday was the 23rd, which I mentioned all on my Twitter page. Yep. So unbelievable. So Bull Montana has requested you could sing his birthday because his birthday seems to pop up more than anybody's. Like he always try to remind people his birthday. He'll remind me next week my birthday's coming up. Yeah, in a year. Every 4 months, my birthday's coming up.
He's got a countdown. You need to take notes.
Constantly, he has a countdown. All right, so I'm gonna tap the microphone here like a conductor. Ready?
Okay.
A 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bull Montana and Chris. Happy birthday to you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you. I'm a little rusty.
Well, a little rusty. It is kind of early in the morning.
You caught me off guard there.
Well, that's what entertainers have to be. You have
I
to be
know.
on
You
24
gotta always be on your toes.
See, ballet tap and all
Yeah,
that
there
other
you go.
junk down there. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, looking down the line, you wanted to star in what? Television, movies, or plays? What? If you had a gun to your head right now,
Yeah.
all right, and they said, you can only be in one thing, what is it going to be?
Probably musical theater.
Musical theater.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Broadway.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I wouldn't want to be on Broadway. I mean, like, I would. That'd be awesome to be like, oh, yeah, I was on Broadway. But I wouldn't want to live in New York City. No offense to anybody who lives there. I just personally don't think I would fit in there really well.
Oh, I think you would. I go to New York City all the time.
Every time I go there, I have transportation issues.
Well, you haven't gone with me. That's why.
That's true, I guess.
I mean, what transportation? You take the? What do you take? The Excella down there or a bus?
No, I'm talking about when I'm there and I have to take the subway.
Oh, never take a subway in New York City. Take a cab.
Well, you know what? I did take a subway and it sucked and I will never do
Yeah,
it again.
the subways down in New York are awful. I mean,
I had no idea where I was going. I was trying to get from Penn Station to Columbia and I almost ended up
you could
in
walk.
Long Island.
You could have walked. That's not that far.
Well, it was when I had never been there by myself before.
And why did it take you for a million years? Did you get a wrong? Did you take the wrong train?
No, I had to walk all the way to the red circle A train or something going inbound. I don't even remember,
Right.
but I had to keep walking and I couldn't find the terminal for the A red circled train. And I just, all of a sudden I keep walking and there's no cell service down there. And the person I'm trying to meet up with, all she said was, take the A red solid circle, whatever. So I'm walking looking for this place with no cell service. And all I see is this turnstile that says Long Island Ferry. And I'm like, oh my God, where am I?
It's always in Connecticut.
Yeah. But I ended up finding my way. I did it all by myself.
See, the subway system in New York is wacky. They have the Uptown B, A, B, D, D, E,
Right,
F, G.
uptown, that's what it was. I was going uptown.
It's not like here in Boston where you have simple things: red line, blue line,
Oh, I
orange
could tell
line,
you
green
the
line.
orange line off the top of my head.
Boom, boom.
Please stand clear of the doors.
There you go. No, word of advice: anybody who's never been to New York City, the only two ways to get around in New York City are either walk or take a cab.
Yeah, once I was there, we ended up going. Actually, we went to go see Jesse James Decker in concert. Ironically,
at Madison Square Garden.
No, at I don't even remember the theater. It was a small theater.
Oh, some dump.
The Omni. No, is that in Boston? I don't even know when the Omni Theater is.
The Omni Theater used to be over at the Museum of Science.
That's not it then. It's somewhere in New York.
Orpheum?
Yes, that one.
You want to know? You're close.
It's okay. I was having a blonde moment there.
Are you naturally blonde?
I am, but growing up, it got a little darker, so I've been keeping up with it. But yeah, I am.
Kind of like seasons of Stranger Things. They keep getting darker.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe your hair is connected to the upside down.
Yes. Well, my hair's actually a little pink right now, but I don't think you can see it from over there.
Why is it pink right now?
I dyed it pink.
Why? Why'd you dye it
For my
pink?
birthday, going into the 23rd year. Why not?
Is that like a thing? When
No.
I turned 23, I didn't dye anything pink.
No, I mean, I dye my hair weird colors all the time.
Why?
Not weird colors, but
Now, when you go in and get your Miss Clairol, do you have like a number?
No.
You just randomly pick one. That looks good today.
Yeah, basically. I've been blonde my whole life. I've been pretty much platinum blonde, and I'll text my hairdresser in the middle of the night and be like, "Hi, I want to be brunette tomorrow," and she'll be like, "Okay, come on in."
I love brunettes, but you know what? You wouldn't cut it as a brunette. I've always known you as a blonde. So if you dyed your hair darker, it'd just be weird.
Yeah, well, it might happen this winter.
Why?
Not totally brunette, but like
dirty blonde.
yeah, kind of.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, but they have this shampoo, plug for this viral shampoo. It's called Viral. You can get pastel colors, other colors, and I got a pastel pink because I saw it on social media. It looked cool, and I did it, and it washes out in 2 weeks, so it's not really there that much anymore. But
Well, if you were in the 1980s where you wanted to be, you wouldn't have anything telling you to dye your hair pink.
I know, right?
Unless like some weird punk rock group from England,
I know.
like Flock of Seagulls or something.
I know, right?
Unbelievable. So what were we talking about here before we
I don't even know.
we
We're
were
talking about influencers.
Oh, influences. Not the disease like influenza, but influences. Right. And so you're wanting to do Broadway, but not really Broadway. Musical theater.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to be in a musical version of a film?
Oh yeah, I think that would be cool.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh no. What is
Okay.
it?
Well, no, I'm not producing a Broadway production.
Could you
or anything.
imagine
Imagine what?
if you were just like, hey, I got you a role on Broadway?
Well, obviously, right now, because Broadway is closed until February of next year. So if you
I
want to
know,
sell
so
souvenirs on Broadway, I can get you a job there tomorrow.
Cool.
If you want to do a little tap dancing in Times Square for 50 cents a second, I could probably get it hooked up on you down there. But that's what I'm talking about. You want to go back to England, don't you?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Well, I've never been to England. Okay.
Okay.
Honestly, TC Restani.
Are you taking me to England? Is that the surprise?
It is a surprise.
No way.
We're going to England. Do you know why we're going to England?
Why are we going to England?
Okay, I don't care about visiting your family because most of your family lives here anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't
So if
really
I want to
have
go
a
visit
family
them, I can go visit them at your house or whatnot.
Right.
You like musicals, right?
Oh my God, where is this
You
going?
you love the 1980s, correct?
Yes.
Did you know
Oh no.
that coronavirus put a halt to it?
Yeah, I did know that.
All right, to everything.
Yeah.
But in 2021, opening up,
You're making me nervous.
I believe in the South End. I believe I'm not very hip to my England theatrical jargon. I could be wrong, but they are reopening the musical version of Back to the Future.
No, they're not.
They are. It was a huge success before coronavirus.
I've never even heard of that.
Well, you know what? That's a sin. Okay, you've known me.
The musical
It's-
version.
you can go online and
Back
see,
to the Future.
You can go online and see clips of it. This play or musical has been in production for years.
Really?
And they've written new songs, and they have the director and the writer of the
my
movie.
God.
None of the actors from the movie are in it because obviously they can't sing.
Right.
And they're too old to play those roles again. I'm sorry, but just stating facts. But they have a musical version of it, and I know friends that went to opening night over there, and they were in tears. They
my
said
God.
it is going to move you so much, especially because you're a huge fan. And I figured, you know what? Who would benefit from this
Oh my God.
other than me going over to England to see Back to the Future the musical?
The homeland.
Your homeland. It's like a homecoming thing. Now I really need you to go with me because I
Okay.
know I'm going to be an emotional wreck.
Yeah, totally.
When I see this,
Great.
and I'm going to need a shoulder to cry on.
That's fine.
So I figured, what better than my executive producer?
Right. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
we don't know when in 2021.
Great. You just let me know when I need to buy my ticket.
It's going to be taken care of at the Restani Productions.
Oh, great.
Johnny
Love
Fab.
that.
I talked to Johnny Fabulous earlier, and I mentioned, she hasn't been over there in a while, and he's like, "Put it on the tab, brother. Put it on the
Oh
tab."
my God, love him.
So in 2021, we're
the
gonna
homeland.
the homeland. We're gonna go to England. Probably gonna be on a
Woo!
discount flight.
Right.
Well, and we're probably gonna stay. I don't know. Probably in some. I'll stay in a. You know what? Sky's the limit. Wherever you want to stay. You're the
Awesome.
executive producer of the
Great.
program. You get me. I'm going to give you a list of celebrities I want on this show before we go there.
Okay.
You get me 2 of them on there.
I got to meet my quota.
You
is
got to
what
meet
you're
your
saying.
quota.
Okay.
Well, you get me those people on this show. We're going to stay at Buckingham Palace for Christ's sake.
Everybody listening, you need to help me get these people on this show. Don't know who it is yet, but
I'll give you the list.
yeah, you got to help me out.
So we're going to kick old Lizzie out of Buckingham.
Okay.
And we're gonna spend the night at Buckingham
Awesome.
Palace. all right?
Hashtag get Abby back to England.
Right. Back to England.
Wow.
See, it's all
Back to the homeland.
Back-
Oh, there we go. Hashtag back to the homeland.
too many hashtags in this world. But that leads me into
Speaking of hashtags.
hashtag. You have had meetings with meetings that I couldn't even go to myself.
Yes.
But because you know me, I want to have these things happening tomorrow.
Right.
I have no patience. I could never be a Jedi Knight. You. In your 100 days down here on After Hours at TC Restani, you obviously have your successful Twitter feed. You can plug it, which is at After Hours Abby.
Yes, go follow it, everyone.
Say it right now. Plug it. Go ahead.
At After Hours Abby on Twitter. Go follow me.
You're crazy if you don't follow Abby out there.
You are crazy.
Which, you have a big celebrity following you, Captain Dave Marciano from Wicked
Yes,
Tuna.
I love him. Shout out Captain Dave.
And I noticed that you, in some of the pictures that you sent me, you had on the T-shirt that he sent you, and you gave away all the other goodies to your family. Now, give me the story.
Yes.
Captain Dave, if you're listening on here, she was like Santa Claus. With
Captain Dave, if you are listening, I want you to know how much my family adores you. I was talking to my family has a vacation house, and we go up there a lot during the summer, and we were all up there, and something was said about Wicked Tuna and Captain Dave Marciano, and I just kind of chuckled, and my cousin was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, I know Captain Dave. He's a fan of mine." And she was like, "Shut up. No, he's not." And I was like, "Yeah, I swear to God." And then, you were so kind enough to send in the apparel to us. And it was her birthday actually on September 3rd. So when we went up for Labor Day weekend, I wore my sweatshirt up there that you gave me, and there was a size for her. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give her one of these shirts. So I walked up and I had it in a bag, and her sister was like, is there a signature on your sweatshirt? And I was like, no. Shut up, don't say anything, be quiet. And she was like, oh, okay. And then my other cousin was like, what is that? And I was like, here you go, happy birthday. And she opened it and she was like, oh my God, this is Captain Dave, this is crazy. And I was like, yep, this is for you to have. So Captain Dave, if you're listening, my family loves you.
What are they going to say? Because I know he invited you to come up and take pictures.
They're gonna cry.
And take pictures on his boat.
Oh yeah, they're gonna lose it.
I better be invited to that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I better be invited to that.
Yeah.
You have ins.
Yeah,
with Captain
I know.
Dave.
You can come.
All right, fine. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a fan of that show.
If you can't come, I'm not going.
Well, I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
Captain Dave, I'm still coming. Kidding.
See, you're on a big time TV show. All right,
Yeah.
how many awards has his show won?
Yeah, right?
Okay, no, love Captain Dave out there. Captain Dave was going to be on our program.
I know.
On my birthday, March 21st of
my
this
gosh.
year, but COVID put an end to it, and our
COVID
big
put an end to a lot of things.
and our big friendship with Captain Dave.
Yeah.
And he's been following me on Twitter for a while. Then he saw you on there, and obviously now you're best buds.
I know.
You talk with him all the time.
I know.
But getting back to the hashtag, you had
Yes.
the big meeting with Johnny Fabulous
Yep.
and people in the tower and whatnot. Ask Abby, which was your question and answer program.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
Yep.
Viewers would send in questions and whatnot.
Yeah, it was great.
But I heard from Sabrina. Sabrina texted me early and gave me all the details because she knew we were doing this podcast today.
Totally.
Hashtag OMG Abby is your new project. And it's basically going to be like a mini magazine program.
Yes.
Where you go out and do different things where maybe you could go fishing with Captain Dave. Maybe
Yeah.
you could show people how to tap dance.
Yeah.
Play the
all these fun
piano,
things.
sing, whatever, oh my God,
Yeah.
Abby does. Now, the reason it's called that is we had an outtake video that our editors put together a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And every time you screwed up in a blooper, you would go, oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I always did that. I always do that.
When I text you about different things, 90% of the time my
OMG.
responses are hashtag OMG. So I guess, I don't know if someone's tapping
That's just my initial reaction to like everything. I don't know why.
but it's perfect. I mean, someone obviously caught on to this. I don't know if our phones are bugged. Probably are. Or maybe your dad has something to do with it. He's in the government.
Maybe. Hi, Dad.
Or Sabrina and Johnny Fabulous. God only knows what they have up their sleeves. Caught on to the OMG, and I guess they had a powwow and a big meeting with you. And of course, I just got the email about last night about it, talking about OMG Abby. Now, are you excited about this new venture? Because
Yes.
it gets you from out behind my desk answering questions.
I'm excited.
You're going to do a lot of things out in the field. Now, I know one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to see you dance.
Yeah, totally.
We're going to go to that dance studio that you have keys to.
Yep.
And we're going to go up there and videotape you doing what kind of dance? I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to like
I
flash
can
dance?
tap for you.
You can tap?
Flash dance. Like, you want me to recreate that?
Oh, I love that movie. What a feeling, be
Yeah.
is believing. I think we should recreate it. We're not going to dump water on you
You know, that would be cool though.
because I don't want to mop it up.
Yeah, I might drown too.
You may drown. You are a small little thing, so
I know. If my head's tilted up, there's no telling what could go wrong.
it's like waterboarding.
Right.
We don't want that to happen.
No.
We can't have that happen. So
Right.
whatever tap dance or jazz dance or ballet, whatever dance you want to do,
Cool.
I think maybe one of the first episodes of hashtag OMG Abby. So now for those of you who are listening out there, I guess Ask Abby is gone to the wayside a bit. So now anybody out there wants to hashtag you stuff, you're going to do hashtag OMG Abby.
Yeah. And maybe we'll even have apparel that says that too.
Uh-oh. Oh, what?
Dun dun dun.
Merchandise for Captain Dave to model off?
Yeah, absolutely.
What goes around comes around, right?
Right. Yeah. All these people,
Now-
everyone's sending me all these shirts and everything. Your time's coming.
Which was before I got here. I know I was a little late to the podcast because I went to the penthouse. I didn't know you were actually painting it. You didn't send me it.
Surprise!
You surprised. I go in there. I'm like, what is that smell? And I go in there and I see the painters. I'm like, what are you doing in my penthouse? And they go, Abby said we could do it. So obviously you hired the creme de la creme of
Yes.
painters up in the podcast penthouse. So I had to reroute down here to Studio B. But before we came to Studio B, I went to the after hour studio and you were taking photos and even more shirts from people are sending you stuff to model off.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now you have a whole new wardrobe from fans.
I know. I like need my own need a separate drawer in my bedroom for all these shirts. It's great though. I love it. I love having all these shirts.
Me too. I mean, I haven't got as many as you did, but I got a couple of them out there. Well, you need more for OMG Abby.
Yeah, totally.
So, what are some of the things you want to do on OMG Abby, other than the tap dancing and other stuff?
Oh, there are so many things. Maybe I could teach you all how to make buffalo chicken dip.
Oh,
there you go. We can do a cooking segment.
We can do a cooking segment. I know you're very into fashion.
I was just gonna say we could do like a makeup tutorial, a hair tutorial.
Well, I don't need any of that stuff. I wear the sequin jacket.
You don't,
I mean, because I'm a fashion statement.
Right, I know. You are.
It is. I mean, you need to get a little more sequin in your wardrobe.
Oh, that's fine with me. I love sequins. I love sparkles.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, for Christmas is coming up, put it on the Restani account because you have to look good
I know.
if you're going to be going with me to England to go see Back to the Future the musical.
I know, right?
We have to be coordinated.
Yeah, totally.
Totally coordinated out there.
Totally.
So you're going to take requests from some of the fans out there for ideas for hashtag.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not that creative, guys. I need some help here.
I think what's going to be really cool is, it gets you. We'll get you out of the studio doing things. I haven't been to the Harwich kitchen in quite a long time.
I know.
You haven't forgotten the invites to dinner and everything out there. I mean, I'm not going to talk about what happened. We're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to reopen old wounds.
No, we're not going to open wounds. Dr. McMurphy would send me another medical bill. But I'm really excited about this. So
maybe we could go. I don't know if this is like allowed, especially with COVID, but maybe we could like do a restaurant review.
You could go to Veggie Galaxy. You could review the.
Could we do that
once they open one? I have connections in there.
That's what I'm saying. Could we do that?
Of course we could.
That would be great. That would be so fun.
And another thing I heard you're going to do on OMG Abby is some of these 80s movies you've only seen a few times, right? You're going to live stream watching these movies on OMG Abby.
For like the first time?
For like the first time.
Wow. That would be funny.
All right. I think that'll be fantastic. Now, I know you've seen Back to the Future only once in your life, and that was when you were a very young person.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Sorry.
But it's okay. But we're going to relive it, and we're going to have the fans see your reaction. We're going
to live stream
We're going to live stream you watching Back to the Future.
Gosh.
Obviously, we can't show the movie because of copyright crap, but you can hear it in the background, and we're going to get your reactions of these 80s classics. Now, are there some 80s movies that you haven't seen that we would love to do on OMG Abby?
Yeah.
What are they?
Oh, well, I don't know if they're like from the 80s, but like older movies. Back to the Future is definitely one of them. I don't know. I'm open to anything. I love movies.
Have you seen The Goonies?
Yes.
Okay, well, we can still do that too. I love The Goonies.
Yeah, that's fine.
What about Friday the 13th? Have you ever seen any of those?
No, I haven't. Horror movies are a little weird with
but
me.
But that's the funny part. Why is it weird with you?
Because like I love spooky things and like spooky season and all that stuff and like tarot cards. I know how to read tarot cards. Actually, I could teach people how to do that.
Oh, really? You'd get along great with my good friend Whitney Wickham.
I would love that. I love getting my tarot cards read. I love anything in the supernatural world. I think it's so cool. But when I watch horror movies, I don't know. I guess the ones that are more realistic tend to like strike a chord with me because it makes me scared.
Well, this is realistic. A guy walking around with a hockey mask slashing people up with machetes.
That's what I'm saying. That would make me scared. I mean, I'll watch it, but I might cover my eyes a lot.
That's the beauty of OMG Abby. We're going to have your reactions. You're an actress. What is acting? Responding. Reacting.
Acting is reacting.
There you go. So you could be acting watching Jason hack somebody's head off.
Yeah, there you go.
Just don't have any dip around when you do that because you could take your stomach.
Yeah, that'll go flying.
It would go flying. And in that studio, we don't want it in there.
Right, I know.
So we're going to wrap this episode up here, Abby. Is there anything you want to say to your fans out there? The floor is yours.
Nothing other than, thank you for being so supportive and writing in. And I never expected this. I never expected to have so many of you. Yeah, it's just a great feeling. You guys are all so special to me. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for everything you've reached out to me for, all of the nice comments. Thank you to people who have been sending me stuff to try on, to model. Those of you asking me to be on your podcasts or all of the above. You're all so special to me, and just thank you for everything. Thank you. And keep watching and keep listening and keep being active with us because we just want to give you what you want to see.
And this is After Hours, and we never close.